everybody. This is John Paval. As our different platforms come logging on one after the other with Access Arts Live, with a sort of special edition roundup of Now Music, which is being live streamed from November 19th to November 23rd here in the year 2025. There was so much of it, I couldn't fit it into where I usually put this kind of thing. I usually put it into the chamber music live stream, that roundup that I do on Tuesdays. There just wasn't room for it. We have five. If you're interested in Now Music, we have five highly interesting live streams for you, coming out of New York City, Baltimore, and Chicago, from Roulette Intermedium Theater, from Peabody Institute, from Composers Concordance, from Vox Novus, and from Constellation Chicago. Before I go any further, let me remind you, this is the perfect time right now to follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live wherever you may find us, which is on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn, because we want to be wherever you are and make it easy for you. And if you do that, you can be sure of getting access to the more than 1,000 live links to live performances online that we provide our followers every year. So without further ado, let me move on to presenting this Now Music that's going on this week. So tonight, Wednesday, November 19th, Roulette Intermedium continues its celebration of 80-year-old composer Anthony Braxton with performances of two of his seminal works, Composition 38 and Composition 95. This will be 8 o'clock in the evening in New York City, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 2 in the morning here in Europe, and noon tomorrow, Thursday, down under in Australia, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, in places like Sydney and Melbourne. This is Braxton's 80th birthday year. In his honor, the Roulette Intermedium has had an ongoing celebration of his work, and in the month of November, a series of 4 concerts in which his music is played by various contemporary musicians. They also have an ongoing series of music for 2 pianos, and since one of the pieces today, Composition 95, is for 2 pianos, it kind of intersects with that series going on at Roulette Intermedium too. If you don't know Roulette Intermedium and you're interested in Now Music, you got to discover it. And tonight would be a great time to do that. So let's talk about these 2 pieces they'll be doing. The first is Composition 38, one of his earlier pieces, you can tell because it has a lower number. And this will be performed by Darius Jones on the saxophone and Cecilia Violeta Lopez on electronics. Who are these people? Well, Hysteron Proteron, as we used to say in my classics days. Let's do the last first. Cecilia Lopez is a composer, improviser, and multimedia artist, originally from Buenos Aires, now living in New York City. She does performances, she does installations, she does sound sculpture. Sometimes she has to invent the electronic sound systems to get the music she wants to create. And somebody's inviting me to co-host, and I don't know what that's going to do if I say yes, but I will accept, and we'll see what the hell that does. Hello, who did I just invite to co-host? Or who just invited me to co-host? And how do I unco-host? I'm sorry. We'll just continue without TikTok. Oh, I'm sorry. We had a little interruption on TikTok, which I could not handle. Okay. So anyway, her work has been presented at the, Lopez's work is presented at the Modern Art Museum in Buenos Aires. in Argentina, at the Center for Contemporary Arts in Vilnius, Lithuania, at the Ostrava Days Festival in the Czech Republic, etc. But also at the Guggenheim in the U.S., at the Friedman Gallery, the Lincoln Center. She got her training, an MFA from Bard College and an MA in composition from Wesleyan University. Darius Jones is a saxophonist and a composer himself, working in the intersection between spirituals, blues, and gospel in the African American tradition. And he came out of Virginia Commonwealth University about 20 years ago, and then got a master's degree in jazz performance from New York University, where he has also taught for a year as an adjunct professor, and he also has taught saxophone and improvisation at Columbia University and won various fellowships, residencies, and awards. Now, about the next piece, the composition 95, the two pianists. Well, one of the pianists is considered a legend among American pianists in the field of contemporary music. She's got 5 Grammy nominations to her credit. The first one was for her performance of and recording of the composer Frederick Rzewski's "The People United Will Never Be Defeated," which then she also re-recorded in 2016 for her second Grammy nomination, and got some others. She's been heralded as the queen of contemporary music by Zachary Wolfe of the New York Times. She's played with the New York Phil, the LA Phil, the Berlin Symphony, the London, etc. Played with the Juilliard and Pacifica quartets, among others. Teaches at Mannes College, and also is a distinguished professor at Brooklyn College and CUNY Graduate Center in New York City. Top of the line. She'll be playing together. It's a 2-piano piece with Adam Tendler, who the New York Times describes as a daring pianist of adventurousness and muscular skill. When he was 23 years old, he performed solo recitals in every one of the 50 United States as part of a grassroots tour to be called America 88 times 50, from the 88 keys on the piano. And he wrote a memoir about it. So that's the two of them, and he's performed at Carnegie Hall and the Barbican Center, Sydney Opera House, etc. Performed with the LSO, the LA Phil, the Sydney and Toronto Symphonies. So these are top people playing music, which if you don't know Braxton's music, you may well want to discover it. Check it out. It's free of charge on YouTube. Then Thursday, November 20th, the Peabody Institute, the oldest music conservatory in the United States, live streams the newest music you can possibly find in a concert of electronic music by the Peabody Laptop Ensemble. I don't usually talk about student concerts here. Peabody does a lot of live streaming of all kinds of student concerts, but this is really sort of far out on the edge of electronic music. So I wanted you to know about it. It's at 7:30 in the evening, Thursday, November 20th, in Baltimore, which makes it 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning here in Europe, and 11:30 Friday morning down under in Australia. All I know about the Peabody Laptop Ensemble, I put in a couple pictures of different configurations of it because it's never the same group of people, but whoever it is, it's people using electronic instruments and laptops and phones and other such electronic devices to make music. So that's what that is. And well, if you want something completely now, that's that, Thursday night. Now, if you're looking for now music on Friday, you can find it online in the Composer's Concordance live stream of a concert called The Art of the Trio, featuring new works by Mappa Elliott, Gottfried Stöger, and Gene Pritzker. And that's on the Composer's Concordance Facebook page in the live section. It'll be at 7 in the evening. Friday evening, New York time, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 in the morning here in Europe, and 11 o'clock Saturday morning down under. The performers will be the composers themselves, Gottfried Stöger on the sax, Gene Pritzker on the guitar, and Mappa Elliott on the bass. Gene Pritzker is the head of the Composers Concordance group, and his thing is blurring the lines between classical and jazz and pop and electronic, and well, just blurring any lines he can find to blur. So that's now music. They'll be making it up as they go along. It's new. Okay. Then Saturday, November 22nd, Vox Novus is celebrating 15 years of commissioning new 1 minute long compositions for its 15 Minutes of Fame program, and with a triple header showcasing 3 different 15 Minutes of Fame music collections. So what they do is they put out calls. There'll be a particular performer, like a flautist, and they'll put out calls for composers to come up with 1 minute compositions for the flautist to play, and their goal is to get 15 of them, and then they do a live stream in which the performer plays those 15 1-minute pieces. That's why it's called 15 Minutes of Fame. They've been doing this for 15 years, so they've done this for thousands and thousands of composers. So they're doing 3 complete sets Saturday, and did I give you the time? Probably not. I'm so excited about this. 7 o'clock New York time on Saturday, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 o'clock in the morning here in Europe, and 11 o'clock Sunday morning down under in Australia. So the first set will be for hichiriki, which is a wind instrument, and low flutes. And it'll be Thomas Piercy and Lish Lindsay. They're fellow New Yorkers, and we're told the compositions for this set range from serene landscapes to playful, inventive miniatures. I could give you the list of composers, but I don't think that'll tell you very much. You can find them if you just log on to the YouTube page listed in the box. So, but Thomas Piercy is a clarinetist out of the Juilliard School and the Mannes College of Music, who's known for playing, according to some critics, the best piazzolla in New York City. And he went to Tokyo to study the hichiriki with Hitomi Nakamura. And he's played Mozart with Frederica von Stade. He's played Broadway songs with Raul Julia. He's worked with Leonard Bernstein. He's played at the Carnegie Hall, the Lincoln Center, the Kennedy Center, the Centre Pompidou in Paris, Wigmore Hall, the St. Cecilia outfit in Rome, at the Tokyo Opera, etc. So, and he's performed and premiered over 200 compositions that were written for him. So he's a heck of a guy, you got to say. And Lish Lindsay, who's playing with him on the low flute, she's from South Korea originally, but she grew up in New Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia, actually. And she's a freelance musician, and she plays like the piccolo or the flute or the contrabass flute with different ensembles in the New York, New Jersey area, like the Capitol Philharmonic, the Eastern Wind Symphony, the Endless Mount, and the Random Access Music, etc. And she's played at various music festivals, playing different kinds of woodwinds, but flutes basically. And she has a flute clarinet duo with her husband. Currently, she has teaching appointments at Columbia University, the American Composers Orchestra, and she's a monthly guest teacher at the Pocono Flute Society. She's taught at a list of other colleges and universities in the New Jersey area. So that's the first set, two sort of powerhouse musicians. The second set is for piano, and it's Yumi Suehiro. And you have her photograph there along with the other two. She was born in Osaka, Japan, and then where she won numerous national and international competitions when she was very young. Then eventually graduated Lehman College, CUNY in New York, and later taught there. Also studied at the Manhattan School of Music, graduating about 15 years ago. And she plays all over the place at festivals for contemporary music, at the Princeton Sound Kitchen, at Nunk, exclamation point in Chicago, at the Sound of Stockholm, at the Darmstädter Ferienkurse, etc., which means more. And then, so that's set 2. And then in set 3, it's Thomas Piercy and Yumi Suehiro. And they'll be doing 15 one-minute duos, which were originally composed for Thomas Piercy to play with the pianist Claudine Hickman on Japanese themes. So that's Robert Voissy who puts all of this together. And he does a great job of churning out an enormous amount of contemporary music with these 15-minute bites. Check it out. And then finally, Sunday, November 23rd, Constellation Chicago's Frequency Series is hosting the Mycelium New Music Group with guest artist Pamela Z, playing new music for Pierrot ensembles, including Pamela Z's own work, Ways of Looking. Now, some of you are wondering, what is a Pierrot ensemble? A Pierrot ensemble, let me explain this to you, was invented by 20th century composer Arnold Schoenberg for a piece which he called the Pierrot Lunaire. Pierrot is a clown, and that was a lunar clown. And it's always a quintet of flute, clarinet, violin, cello, and piano, often with a narrator, usually performed by a soprano. So their program, they'll do a Rook for Pierrot ensemble by Aryan Singh Dogra, Spirare 4 for Pierrot ensemble by Carlos Bandera, Commotion for Pierrot ensemble by Sophia Jen Ouyang, solo voice and multimedia set by Pamela Z herself, and then they'll do Ways of Looking for performer and Pierrot ensemble, Pamela Z, and the Mycelium group. The mycelium, mycelium is that fungus underneath the ground in forest, which connects all the trees to each other so that the forest actually works. So that this is how they get their nutrition. So you will have a clarinet, violin, cello, piano, and percussion from the Mycelium group. They're Chicago-based, specializing in contemporary music in Chicago's, what they call Chicago's artistic ecosystem, and that they're like the mycelium in that ecosystem. And Pamela Z, she works with live looping, where she processes her voice to create layers of sound, and operatic bel canto, found objects, text, digital processing, wireless MIDI controllers, etc. Folks, that's the Now Music for this week. I'm sorry about the little interruption that we had with the TikTok people. Somebody invited me to co-host on TikTok, and I mistakenly accepted the invitation. It was somebody doing macrame or something, which didn't make any sense. I'm new to TikTok, but I just clicked off of TikTok because we don't have time for that. I hope one, more, or any of these live streams uplifts you, inspires you, and just shows you a heck of a good time. And personally, I'm looking forward to the Peabody laptop ensemble because I think that'll be really wild. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And remember to follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live wherever you may be watching us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn to get your 1,000 live links to live performances, including all kinds of Now Music like this. Ciao for now.